All right, so welcome to the first episode of the series where I'm gonna take my friend over here, Kevin, from complete beginner zero to six figures in online, quote unquote, making money online, um, as what you might call an appointment setter, but really when it comes down to it, just getting into online remote sales. Kevin, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're currently doing right now, and what's your goal with online sales.
So my name is Kevin, and then what I'm doing right now is I'm fully into this new journey of learning about sales. And then before that, a little background is I've been working in a nail salon with a minimum wage for a while, and I feel like this is an opportunity for me to step into a new chapter of my life. So excited for it.
Awesome. So the first thing is I'm eating, so I'm gonna mute myself while my cousin talks. But you're getting the raw, unedited, unfiltered, behind the scenes of how I'm going to take Kevin from zero to six figures this year. Okay, so Kevin, it's not minimum wage. What were you making currently in the nail business? Share some of the secret with the world. I bet you not a lot of people. A lot of people go to the nail salon, but not a lot of people knows behind the scene of how things work. So on a good month, how much do you make as a nail technician, and how long? Like, what's the hours like?
So let's just talk about so nails business pretty much is about season. So there's totally three season in the business pretty much. So we starting out with the winter season, which start from December to March. Those timelines kind of like is really slow time for nails business, and then it start to pick up, like start to jam up and pick up during the springtime. We start from March till like June, and then it just keep getting busier and bigger from June to October, and it's like have a transition of not just the weather but also like the client too. So it
How
started
much you make
slower.
on a good month?
So on a good month you can make oof,
How much
probably
have you made on a good month?
okay. So on a good month I make probably like 8K, 7K, 8K, around that number.
So almost six figures run rate. If you make $8,300 a month, you beat $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
But on like a not so good month, like a winter month, how much do you make?
Um, on a not so good month, I would say 4 grand, 5 grand. Yeah, 4 or 5 grand. Like just like four two, 4 3, something like that.
That's not bad, dude. What's the hours like? Do you work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day?
So when it's come to I work like 6 days a week, and this shop is currently closed one day. So yeah, I work 6 days, so it's pretty much like full time, no days off.
Is it 8 days a week, 8 hours a day, or how many hours?
We say 10 hours a day.
So 10, you work 6 days a week times four, it's 240 hours. Um, on a bad month, you're making about $19 an hour,
Right.
and then on a good month, you said 8,000. Is that
Yeah.
like the best month ever?
Yeah, plus tips and everything else. Yeah, 8 months, 8,000. And this is like gross. This is not. This is
No.
gross.
So you're saying 8,000 is including tips, not plus tips.
Yeah, including tips.
Okay, so those are the opposite of each other. So if you say I make 8K plus tips, that means it's 10 because you
No,
make
no, no.
2K with tips.
Oh,
So,
okay, okay.
so in a good month, you're making about $33 an hour. So like, right, it's a 1099 contracting role. But I think a lot of things in life are commissions only, and this is basically as commission only as it gets. So all of this, you're not getting like per hourly wages. You just, hey, somebody walks in, you do their nails, and then you split the revenue with
Right,
the owner, right?
right.
Awesome, dude. Why not stick to nails? It sounds like you can make on a good month 8K and probably maybe start a nail business and make more money as a business owner.
For a long time, I've been thinking like nails could be a thing for me, but then I will gradually change it because you get tied down into like, because if you work in a nail salon, the only thing you can do is be there. You gotta be present because you can't have time to do other things. And pretty much if you're like a salon owner or you work in a nail salon, pretty much your life gonna tie it down around that businesses, and you can't, doing anything else. And it's pretty much like a long hours jobs, and there's no holidays, no days off. So pretty much you don't have time for yourself, and then you don't have time for other things to do. So that's why I've been thinking for a longest time that I need to step into a new business or a new mindset that I can manage my times better, and also I have more time to do other things.
Got it. Do you know the good thing about what you've done with nails, though?
The good
Because-
things.
Well, I'll tell you. So the reason why this is a good thing is because you are literally a business owner as a nail technician, because you don't get paid salary, you don't get no benefits. Literally, what you work is what you make.
Right.
And that's what being an entrepreneur or being in small business ownership is. So this is why I advocate when people wanting to start something online,
Right.
is to don't start a business, because you're just trading one vehicle for the next, which is, if you have a contractor job like this is a job, but you're basically the business owner and the employee,
Mhm.
and you're trading for an online business. Yes, maybe you've been sold the idea that you can work remotely from anywhere in the world. You start driving Lamborghinis, taking picture on the boat with attractive models. The problem with that is, in the beginning, maybe you'll get there in 5-10 years, but the problem with that in the beginning is you're literally trading one job, which is your nail job, for another job, quote unquote business, where you are the business, and you're gonna still have the same problems as before, which is you don't get no benefits, you don't get no you don't even get clients, right? When you work as a technician at a nail salon, the customer walks in, you didn't do nothing to get that customer to walk in to make money.
That's
As
true.
a business owner online, right? And we'll talk about your web design business in a little bit. You got to go and get the client,
Right.
or the prospect. You got to go and convince them that they're going to pay you money. You got to take their money. You got to do the work, and then you hope that they will stick around.
Right.
You're literally taking on a harder job than your nail technician job, and you're expecting in a year, I'm going to retire and live on a boat with your models in Dubai. And that works, obviously, because you could see it on Instagram. But the people that are doing that are selling the dreams off the business, not being in the business. So you watch Iman or whoever, I don't care who it is. And it's fine, because I only have 200 subscribers on my channel anyway, so they're not going to they never see this video. And I'm not trash talking, but you got to see the truth for what it is versus the marketing message, right? So the people that say, hey, you should start an agency, are the people that are not in agency anymore. They're selling the dream lifestyle of an agency owner, where if you look at their actions or what they actually do with their time, is they're creating content online. They are being an influencer. They're selling the lifestyle of the agency, but they're not an agency owner themselves, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing wrong there is what they're selling versus what they're doing are very different. They're selling agency or website or copywriting, whatever that thing is that they're selling, versus what they're doing is really creating content to influence you to buy into the thing that they sell. So this is why, especially, I'm saying, if you don't have a job, if you're like 18 years old, which neither one of us are, don't try to be an online influencer. Don't try to start a fancy e-com business. You're 1 out of 1,000 if you can become an influencer, right? Because for the influencer business model to work, dude, you have to be 1 in a million. You got to have 100,000 followers, right? And you've got to be that one. So a much more proven path is to get a sales job with a company that's already online. Right. Now, a year from now, as you hustled and learned everything you could from working at a web design agency, then you can start your own web design agency. But I think these gurus are doing the young generation a disservice by saying, hey, you're 18, you don't know what a Google Calendar is, you don't know what a lead from a prospect, you don't know how business works, but you should start your own e-com or whatever business. It's not doing you the best service, because if I put my hat on as your uncle or your brother or your whatever, right, mentor, I would never tell you if you're 18 to go start your own business unless you already have a business. Like, if it's within you to create a business, you would have already done it.
Right.
So, long story short, this is why I preach. Don't try to get fancy. There's going to be hopefully one person that watches and say, "When you are wrong, I did it and I'm successful," and I will say, "Good for you." I am telling you, there's 999 other people who are not, and they are miserable, even if they are in business for themselves. And a much better path, in my opinion, and what has worked really well for me, is to plug into a business that's already doing what you want to do down the road. So if you want to be an influencer and live on the boat, dude, you should be going to work for the influencer, not buy his agency course. So that's secret number 1. Secret number 2. So if we are going to do this as a role, the expectation that I would have you assume, and you can accept this or not, is you have to be all in, right? And you're not all in for the rest of your life. You're just all in for the next year to become the best appointment setter there is,
right?
That you know of, and you're going to commit every ounce of your energy and every available time of your day to becoming the best appointment setter the world has ever known, that you know.
Right.
And the reason why that is because to make 6 figures as an appointment setter, it is not easy. Anyone that says, "Hey, I have a course that teaches you how to become a 6-figure appointment setter," I will tell you is exactly the same thing as the influencer model. Less than 1% of appointment setters make 100K per year. Okay. Anyone else that tell you that otherwise is just lying to you, or they're just completely out of reality. How do I know that? I built 3 different sales development team or appointment setting team now. I've worked with a $1 billion revenue financial technology company, and I know the appointment setters are not making 100K a year, right? The only reason why somebody who's an appointment setter who's making 100K a year is because, 1, they are very, very good at what they do, which means they have to commit themselves to the craft, and 2, they are plugged into the right vehicle, right? So Alex Hormozi talked about this. Like, you can be the best appointment setter there is in the world, but if you work for the nail salon as an appointment setter, or if you work at the local pizza shop as an appointment setter, you're never going to make $100,000, even if you are Alex Hormozi.
Right.
The vehicle just doesn't allow you to make an okay. So off the 0.5 or the 1% who makes $100,000 a year as an appointment setter, is 2 things. Number 1, they're really good at what they do, which means they have to commit themselves to the craft. And 2, they are lucky. Why are they lucky? They're plugged into a business that have a lot of lead volumes. Okay. So what we can control as sales rep is just one of those 2. The first thing we can control is how good we are and how dedicated we are to the craft. And then with a little bit of the luck, you will be able to plug yourself into the right business that will allow you to make 100K. But make no mistake, even if you're in the right business, you're going to have to work and hustle for it, all of your efforts to make 100K as an appointment setter. Now, I've talked about like other paths to make 100K as well. Like you can start as an appointment setter, make 50, 60K a year, right? And then you can bolt on top of it, add to it. Like maybe you can start closing for the business. You can start like a side hustle in addition to your appointment setting, when you consult with other businesses,
Right.
for a fee. So you can get to 100K, but make no mistake, right? It's not from that one thing, right? It's going to be a combination of things that are designed and intentionally chosen by you and designed by you, and we're going to help you do that. Okay. So
I got you.
that's me off the podium. So tell me about your skill set. What have you learned? I've plugged you in for a few courses on appointment setting. Tell me in like a minute or two. One, what do you understand as the appointment setting? What is it? And two, do you understand what makes a successful appointment setter?
So what is appointment setting is pretty much you are as a appointment setter, you pretty much selling for the prospect the sale of the closer. And then because something I learned that most of the people they're not going to buy your offer, they're not going to buy your companies, or they're not going to buy your testimonials. The only thing they buy is like the end result. They want to buy end result, which is like they buy on an emotion, on the emotional levels. So if throughout this process, or like throughout the call, you can touch to their emotion, they will buy. And yeah.
Okay. What are the 2 or 3 character traits of A+ world-class appointment setter?
Well, the world class, or the probably one of the great appointment setter is the ability to asking good questions, the ability to listen to the prospect, to figuring out the problems. Because I think one of the things that I learned right away is you got to figure out what the prospect problem, or what is their problems, what is their biggest problem in their business right now. And even like sometimes the prospect doesn't even know they have a problem, and normally those problem is just right in between the something I learned is like the current situation and then the desired situation. So the problem might be right there. So like our jobs as an appointment setter, we got to figuring out what that problem is, or showing them like the problem. So then because like the fundamental of business is, if there's no problems, there's no business. If there's no business, there's no sale. So you gotta figure out the problem.
Very good. I love that. I love that you picked that first, which is listening skill.
Right.
So most sales don't want to talk about how great the program is.
Right.
You want to be listening to what their problems are. So right on. In addition to that, you kind of have to have a understanding of the business, of the industry, in
Right.
order for you to communicate that you understand them.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say if you never worked in a nail salon before, you're not going to understand, even though you can help businesses, you're not going to be
Right.
talking about the business of nail salons because you never worked in it, or you haven't studied it. Right. So like an
Right.
example of that would be mani pedi, right? You have to understand the language, and if you talk to a salon owner, what do they care the most about?
Mhm.
Workers, right? What else do they care about? Like prices, comparison with the other shops in town, right? One of the biggest problems with nails, I believe, are number one, too much competition because everybody can start a nail salon.
Mhm.
Number two, there's a huge shortage of workers, right?
That's true.
So by only working in it or understanding the business by doing your research, you would understand. So I would say those are two very good combination. One, you have to be able to listen and not talk and ask the right questions. And two, you have to understand the industry. Can you think of anything else in terms of what makes a great appointment setter?
Well, what probably to make understand the business, understand the industries. So we have understand the business industries, understand the problems, figure out the problems, and probably throughout this process, you gotta be able to make this this call, even though it's based on a script, but kind of make it like you're talking to a friend. You build relationships. You build like a long-term relationship with this person, because um, everybody will, because you already touched base on their problems, which is like they already at the emotional states, right? And then you add them to the relationships. So now there's like a huge bond, or like like you guys are bonding and become like friends, or like actually people talk with people, like friends talk with each other. So it's like building a relationships, I would say, is a good thing too.
Okay. You said something else. You said because you're new,
Right.
right? You had to get good at
Okay.
the skill. How do you get good at a skill if you're new?
Um, to get good at this skill, you probably got to go to many practices. Well, this will apply to the nails too. So in the beginning of the journey, oh dude, this is so hard. I gotta learn so many things in the beginning, and I was suck at it. So I think one of the funny things that Alex Hormozi said is like, at first when you start doing something, you suck, right? And then you keep doing it, you start to suck less, and then throughout time you get better. So with, and I think I applied it that mindset to anything. Like at first you're gonna be not as good as you want it to be, and then you keep trying, you keep doing, practicing, and learning from your own experience. That's the fastest way to learn. Yeah.
Great. So that's exactly it. Massive actions
Right.
is the prerequisites, meaning you cannot become a great appointment setter unless you already have grit.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're not going to be great at it in the beginning, you have to be okay with taking a lot of actions that suck. Right?
Right.
I'll add the last thing. So if you're watching this and you're wanting to get an appointment setter, I will tell you there's only 3 things a business owner, potential business owner, look for in you as an appointment setter. And really, this applies to all jobs, really, but especially in sales, especially if you're a beginner. Number 1 is grit, meaning that you're going to take a lot of actions. And like me as a business owner, I'm not going to have to like give you a motivational speech where to go and just start doing some things. So you have to lead with massive actions.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is you have to be coachable, meaning you have to be willing to learn and listen. Back to the first point.
Right.
So the second point is coachability. If you're not coachable, but you take a lot of actions, you're not coachable, you're just taking a lot of dumb actions, you're not going to get better.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So coachability is important. Number 3 is, I would bucket it under intelligence, but not like, hey, you have to have an SAT score or like you are bookworms. Intelligence, more like street smart, more like you're able to think critically on your feet.
Right.
More like, hey, if I give you a task, you're going to be able to think, okay, how do I want to attack this task? So for example, right, if I give you a task of, hey, Win, or hey, Kevin, schedule a meeting with me at 7:00 Pacific time. Okay.
Yeah.
The person who doesn't have intelligence would be, well, I don't know what time it is. I'm gonna send invite at 7:00 my time, even though I'm in Eastern time.
Right.
The person who is street smart, quote unquote, would be thinking, all right, I'm gonna go to Google,
Right.
and I'm gonna say, what time is it from 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. Mountain to, if I live in New York, what time is it in New York?
Right.
Right. And if you're sending an invitation and you don't know, if you've never used a calendar before, right? And again, if you have intelligence, you go to Google and say, how do I send a calendar invite? I'm going to go to YouTube and say, and type in how to send a calendar invite, right?
Yes.
So if you're not that smart, quote unquote, where you're like, well, I don't know how to figure this out and I'm not going to do anything about it.
Right.
That's also not going to work, because yes, you're taking a lot of action.
True.
Yes, you're coachable, but the business owner or the sales manager, me, is not going to be able to stand with you for 8 hours a day and say, all right, Kevin, you don't know how to do this. Go Google.
Right.
Right. You have maybe half an hour a day when you talk to me or you talk to the business owner.
Right.
And then the rest of the time, you're really learning on your own. And if you don't have that self-starter, and this comes in many words. Some people say self-starter, intelligence, smart, all of that encompasses of like you would do whatever it takes to figure shit out.
Hmm.
And also with that, it's like, hey, yes, you're taking a lot of actions, you're taking coaching, but also you're thinking about how do I get better so that my massive actions continue to get better over time. So those
Right.
are the two qualities. I would say if you have those three, you're already in the top 20% of reps in all of really the workforce, but especially in sales, because most salespeople are very lazy. So if you
Right.
can, you can somehow instill within yourself that you are going to be gritty, you are going to be coachable, and you're going to try to be intelligent about what you do on a day-to-day basis, then that
Yeah.
puts you on top of the 20%. Okay.
Awesome.
The last thing I would add, which is like obvious, but most people don't understand this, and it goes back to the intelligence part, is the number one thing that a business owner wants to hear and feel that you know is that you want the fucking job.
Yeah.
Like if you show up, you're smart as a cookie, you're a Harvard graduate, but you're like, well, this job is all right. It's kind of like below me. I'm not really that into it, but I'm gonna apply for it anyways. That type of person versus somebody who's a high school graduate, doesn't have any degrees, but he or she show up and they're like, John, I've researched your company, I've looked at your website, I've went onto your Facebook page, I've read the reviews of the client or the customers you have. Here's
Hmm.
what I know about the business. Here's why I'm the best candidate for this job because I'm going to over prepare and I want this job. You're going to have the best, the hardest working candidate you ever going to have.
Right.
If you have that desire, you will win over the candidate who are more qualified and have more experience than you. So, does that help?
It is help.
Okay. So, in your interviewing process, which is really in and of itself is a sale that you're
Hmm.
making, you want to be able to demonstrate all of those three qualities about yourself. And the last one is just through research, right? Like, how do you show them that you want the job? You have to give a shit about the company. So instead of applying for 100 jobs, hoping that one of them will call you, you're going to apply for 5 or 10, but you're going to know exactly what those companies are, what they do, what industry they're in, what their customers are saying about them, and also what the industry overall is going to be about. Right.
Right.
That way, if you're applying for 10 jobs, it might take more time than just like spreading 100 resumes,
Right.
but you have a much higher likelihood of getting an interview and a job. So it's a much better return on investment on your time and your efforts. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So on to, so that's like the theoretical work, right? We're going to get tactical now. So go ahead and pull up your Facebook profile and your LinkedIn profile. We're going to do a review of if you want a job as an appointment setter, are your profiles optimized? So that when a recruiting manager or a business owner look at your profile, they're like, "Oh, this kid looks kind of smart. Maybe we should give him a chance." Okay, so go ahead and bring that up, and share your screen when you're ready.
Okay. Facebook. You pull out LinkedIn also at the same time. Right. All right. So how can I do the share screen here?
Look at the bottom. There's a few buttons. There's one with a arrow pointing up. inside
Activities.
square. No. It say present now.
All right. Present now, right here.
And then go ahead and
Shares.
share the whole window.
Whole window. Okay. Start the theme.
Yeah, so click ignore. And then bring up your LinkedIn.
Yep. You see it?
Yep. All right, so click on your name and then also bring up your Facebook. Yep, we got it there. Okay, so scroll down. Okay, so I'm taking you through exactly how a recruiter would be looking at your profile.
Right.
Somebody who's gonna maybe potentially hire you. Okay.
Right.
So what I would do is I would add multiple points to your LinkedIn. So scroll down, keep going. Okay. So the next part where they look at is going to be your about section. Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit of it and
Right.
I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Okay. So keep going.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Got it. So really, ideally, you have more than 2 connections. So you should have more than just 2 connections here. It's not the end of the world, but if it looks like you have 2 connection people, the first thing I think in my head is like, does this guy just like get on the internet?
Right.
And if you're 18, that's different. But if you're like 25, 30s, it's like you want to have at least 100 connections if you can.
Right.
Okay. So that's the first thing. So write that down. We're gonna add more connection to your LinkedIn. We're gonna figure out how to do that.
Yep.
And then number 2, go down to the about page.
Right here.
Where did this writing come from? Was this from the course, or did you write this on your own? How did it come about?
This is pretty much I come up on my own when I'm writing this.
Okay.
With based a little bit on the course, and then come up with something on my own too.
Okay. So easiest part here is to make that writing longer.
Okay.
And more what I might call like applying your copywriting skills to your profile. Okay. And honestly, the easiest way is to go to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Okay. So go to ChatGPT now and then write. I'll tell you what to write. It's probably going to be simple. So if you're watching this again, this is the secret. Everybody does this. No one will tell you. So go ahead and log in. You're going to have access to the free version, but that's all we need. So you're going to write, I am a new graduate. I'm interested in a sales position as a sales development rep.
I can't type today. Interest. Self. Reps.
Sales development. You want to add a period. So sales development rep, not reps. help me write a LinkedIn about section. To help me get a job. Okay, so this goes back to if you're not that smart, you better be thinking about how do I leverage technology.
Mm.
Because I'm telling you, there are VAs, people who make $5 an hour in the Philippines who use ChatGPT better than we can. And they're going to be a better employee than we are.
That's true.
So hit enter and let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. I could tell you the first paragraph is already better than what I could have written.
Okay.
Now, of course, we're not going to copy and paste this word for word, but we are going to copy it in there and we're going to make our own adjustments to it. So copy the when it start passionate.
Right here. Already copy.
Okay, then I'm going to put it into LinkedIn.
Yep, it's already in there.
Okay, so we're going to read through this and then we're going to make adjustments so it's not just a robot writing it. I would take out the welcome to my LinkedIn profile. I wouldn't say academic knowledge. I would say business knowledge. Why? Because one, here's the truth. You graduate from you barely graduate from a community college.
Right.
You don't have any academic knowledge.
True.
But what do have is you've worked in a nail salon as an independent contractor. That is you being in business.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to start your own web design agency.
Right, right.
Keep going. Instead of the target audience, I would change it to the needs of my ideal customers. No, at the last one, at the bottom there.
You say ideal clients.
Yep. Communication skill, hone through. So again, not academic projects. You're going to say through jobs, entrepreneurial jobs.
Spell this. Jobs.
Entrepreneurial.
Real.
IAL.
IAL.
And extracurricular activities.
Extracurricular, you said?
Extracurricular. activities. There's no S. And at the end of extracurricular. Okay. Here's the thing. If you're dumb as a stick,
Mhm.
then keep what ChatGPT say, right?
Right.
Here I am to help you write this in a way so it's not a robot. Okay, so keep going. In the end, as a hiring manager, I know you didn't write this, but
Right.
that's okay because it's still better than what you wrote before.
Right.
This is not how a human being would write, but that's all
Mhm.
right because again, you're going from a 2 out of 10 to a 4 out of 10.
Right.
Okay, so take the education out. Why? Because you don't really have anything to brag about with education. So take it out. So you're gonna write about experiences. This you do have. So you try to start a restaurant. So don't delete the whole thing. Delete the title.
The experience title or the
Yeah.
intern?
Intern. So you can say manager, whatever the name of the restaurant was.
Manager at the
Give it a name. Don't say noodles. What's the name of the restaurant?
Mika. It's called Mika.
Then call it Mika Restaurant. So what did you do?
So I pretty much manage everything in the business.
Okay. So write it out. Manage day-to-day operations.
Day operation.
Delete the rest. Did you talk with customers?
Talk with customer too. So it's customer
Assist customers.
and then
Customer with an S.
so managing employees too. So like
This is customers, managed employees, and inventory.
inventory at the same time, right? So employees. Employees. Employees and
Coordinate inventory and payrolls.
oh I don't I don't do the payroll, but I manage the inventory. There was account at the same time. She's managed that.
Then let's do coordinate inventory and orders.
Okay, coordinate.
Okay, so now you got to make sure that the grammar is correct.
Yep.
Okay, what else?
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Do you not have a web design business?
Oh yeah, yeah. So is it going to be like a different line, or it's going to be in the same?
What do you think?
Yeah, should be. So owning, owning, or
I would change it to sales.
sales.
Okay, this is where the smart comes in. Why would you want to put sales on there?
It's like you. This is a service that you provide, right?
Because you're applying for a sales job. So what would you
Right,
want to have on your LinkedIn profile?
right.
What is it?
A sales.
You want
You
to
s-
show people that you have sales experience,
mm,
right?
selling.
Even though you are technically the quote unquote business owner, most of your
Yeah.
time was spent selling.
Services.
So I would change it to you got to give yourself a title sales consultant, capital C is an S after sales. So what did you do with this business? What's the name?
Direct Vision Media, and then I manage day-to-day operations, assist customer to lead generation, uh, trouble shoots, or like customer retention. Oh, customer. What's the term for like you building relationship with customers? Like customer relationships, nurturing, lead nurturing. Yeah, nurturing. Um,
Take the assisted customers out.
yeah,
Why?
because like this is different form of a business. So
Hmm.
so we don't apply that. We use a different term, right?
Well, you're writing this job as you're the salesperson. So why would you be because assisting customers?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. So lead generation, lead nurturing, and closing. And at the end of it, do and negotiating deals.
Closing and negotiating. Yes. Ooh. Okay.
Okay. So insert a blank line between the two job. Take the icon out in front of manager. It should be manager dash Mika restaurant and then the colon. No, the other dash.
Oh, manager dash, like right here.
No, delete it. Delete both the dash. That's fine. Operation with an S. Same as below. Okay, let's move on. Exceed sales targets.
Exceeds tail target. Exceeded?
No. Exceed sales target. With an S. Okay, keep going.
So plug in emails here.
Do you know what you need?
Phone numbers.
No. What's your
Facebook.
name?
Oh,
So go get a new Gmail address. Okay, hit save.
yeah.
Click out of that, and then we're gonna add skills to your profile. So click back to the about. You were there. That's what we just did. Go back down to the about. Too far. Where's the about page, Kevin?
Right here.
Yeah, click on the pencil. Add skill. So type in sales development.
Self development.
Try prospecting. Nothing is coming up. Delete. Delete all of it. Prospecting. Prospecting.
What's the word for this? My typing is not good. Okay, right here. All right. Sales prospecting. This one.
See where it say additional skills? What is it saying?
So,
Lead generation.
lead generations. Lead generations.
You got to click on the option that I give you.
Okay. Online with inbound lead generations. B2B marketing.
The last one is type in consultative selling.
Console
Just type in selling.
selling.
That's not how you spell selling. Check the chat. No, the Google Meet chat. The chat is to the right.
Okay. Solution selling, sales, writing, selling.
Hit save. Click done. So now your profile is from a 1 to a 4 now.
Yeah.
Your homework is to go find out how do you add more LinkedIn connections if you don't have a lot of LinkedIn connections.
Okay.
Use your smart. It's not that difficult to figure out. Okay.
Totally got you. So the goals for the goal for the connection, I would say, is 100, at least 100 connections.
Anything more than 2 is a good progress. So aim for 100, but if you can get it to 30, 40, 50, that's fine.
Cool.
Okay. What else is your homework?
A lot of improving on those skills: sales prospecting, lead generation, and selling.
Get a new email address.
Email address.
Open a new one. I don't want to see no Peng anymore. That's not your name when you want to get a job.
Kevin.
All right, let's check out your Facebook.
Yep. It's person space.
It's on the left. Great. So change your Facebook language to English, not Vietnamese.
Right.
That's your next homework. Don't do it now. Do it after this. Put in location where you live.
Mm-hmm. Live. Yeah.
Okay, scroll down. Okay. All right.
I think
That you're not a total dork on Facebook, so that's fine.
yeah, I'm a real person on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. So this is enough for today.
Perfect.
What are all of your actions for your homework? I want to hear it.
So all the action for the homework is we have I would set aside every day from 10 to 2 to actually committing myself into doing the work. So I think all these homework today are pretty easy homework, and then I'll try to get as I'll do it as soon as we finish the call for today.
Okay. So did you say get a new email address?
Yeah, I think I already have a email, a work like a working email address that I already have. So get an email address, get more LinkedIn connections, change the Facebook's language, add the location where I live. So yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna add 2 more.
Okay.
One, Google what's the best free typing class. If you hope to make a lot of money on the internet, you need to use your computer. If you type like a chicken, like this, your
No,
income is going to reflect that.
yeah.
Okay. The second is learn how to use your computer shortcuts. So these are the things that no one's going to tell you to get better at sales, but this is just getting better as a computer worker, which all online salespeople, all online people are.
Right.
So take a basic Mac shortcut video and learn to
Mhm.
apply it. The faster you can use your computer, the more money you will make.
Right.
This is your tool of trade. So if you use this better,
Yeah.
just like nails, right? You know how to use a brush. This is your brush.
Right.
Okay. So add those two to it.
Yes.
And then the last homework I'm going to have for you. So you're going to get to apply everything that I just said, being coachable, listening, and grit to this exercise. This is in addition to everything that you're going to do today. So this is the test of your intelligence.
Yeah.
You're able to think on your feet and be smart about it. So go to ownershift.com. I'll put the address in. Actually, hold on. Put the address in there.
Research. So this is like a property website.
So I'm
Huh.
going to give you a few links.
Ships. Yep.
And then this one. Okay. So you're going to put on your hat as I am applying for a job at this company as an appointment setter.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to do research on this company. You're going to tell me why you should be the best candidate for this role.
Right.
Remember what you said about what makes a great appointment setter. Listening, understanding the industry, knowing what you're talking about. Talk about your experience. All of it. Okay. Even if you work at the restaurant as a server, that counts.
Okay.
That's your restaurant experience. Get it?
Got it.
Okay. So from now on, tomorrow, we'll meet. We'll talk about what you've done today for the next 3 hours. And then you're going to pitch me on why you're the best appointment setter or the best candidate for this company.
Ownership training. Got you.
And I will make it even easier for you.
So we'll get better.
That's the owner of the business.
Andrew Scotch. All right. Say so the link.
Again, learn how to use your computer.
Yep.
You're not gonna make you're not gonna make $500,000 this year not knowing how to use your Mac.
Cool.
All right.
Yep.
So tomorrow we'll resume. It won't probably not be at the same time, but we'll resume training tomorrow.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. Thank you for the training today. I'll get to work right away.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. See ya.
Peace. Bye bye.